Guy Live, everyone. We're here. How's it going?
I am ready for.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready to talk some We've had a week off. I forgot what. I forgot how
We got
to
a podcast, Jamie. It's all right.
I've gone all
okay.
rusty, but it's been a hectic week in the wrestling. But,
well, as you guys can imagine, Murph, he has to help with. It's all hands on deck for Trump right now. So he's going through some stuff. So obviously he's been called in to help sort things out. So no Murph this week. We do have Boss Man L WP.
Something like that. Something like
that. Summit like that. To be here and talk some Dumb Guy Live with us. It's going to be great. We were off last week. I had a crazy week with work and stuff, but we're back this week. Also, it was like kind of a slow week for Japanese wrestling anyway. Focus was way more on Mania and Super Card of Honor and all that type of stuff last week. So I'm glad to be back at it this week. There will be no Vince talk. There will be no WWE talk. It's a bad promotion that puts on bad shows. We don't talk about those on this show.
Doesn't care about the fans.
Right. Except for TJPW. We sometimes talk about that. But that's sort of the situation. Yeah. I love our fans. Yeah, Dumb Guys Are Live, Icon, right? This is good. The only Wrestle Purist show that starts on time. You guys know it's literally like one person's fault. If there's ever, like, most people are pretty professional here. There's just one person who is consistently late. We are so back, Lexi. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're back. So, a couple things we're going to talk about today. We're going to preview the flagship spring show for New Japan. Always Sakura Genesis, right? Always a huge show for New Japan. Is it Sumo Hall or is it Budok? It's Sumo Hall, right? Yeah. Big time stuff there. Obviously, New Japan. It's always the New Japan Cup winner who challenges there. We're going to talk about Stardom Cinderella, which I'm sorry, guys, I've not been able to watch a single second of Stardom Cinderella yet. You know me, I'm like, I get into the storytelling, but I really, my biggest stuff is just the matches themselves, and that's not Cinderella's forte. And considering the team that we have, I'm kind of justified in that.
No.
And finally,
Parker, you're breaking up on us, brother.
We're losing him. No.
All right. Okay.
Have we lost him?
I think we may have lost him for a split second. Parker will be back very soon. Of course, Sakura Genesis, New Japan. We was going to do a review, a preview, of course, going through the card and stuff like that. Of course, Parker was going to lead the wheel, you know. Well, it's always funny when they're just frozen on the screen. You can probably hear everything I'm saying and probably going crazy at his computer screen right now. But, you know, it happens. You know, it happens. But yeah, let's go through the card, Jamie. We're gonna have to deal with it. You know.
Let me get this up real quick. So we didn't get a Sakura Genesis last year. So big return for that show. We'll go from the top. Yeah.
What?
Can you sneeze?
All right, let me sort that out there. What the fuck? See, it was weird. Both the video, like Jamie's video feed went away, and they were like, and I could hear you guys being like, "Did we lose him?" And it was like, "I'm here. What happened?" You guys should know. I don't know. Maybe I'll show you. I don't know if you guys can see, but
it's happening again.
We are so back.
This is what you get with Wrestle Purists, you know. This live content. This live content right here.
Some real professionals. Even the most, I'd say the most professional of
I
us
think,
all.
I think, I think.
And he's gone.
Parker O'Brien, you know. Oh fuck. Alright, man. Fucking hell. It's just
Let me
we're
get
gonna
this. Let me
we
get
can.
this show. Yeah, we're back. We're back in Sumo Hall.
Oh no! No, we've lost it. We've lost it for good.
Right.
You know.
I'll kick it off from the
Peace.
top. Hopefully he's back. Hopefully he's back soon. Otherwise, it's going to be.
I don't know
One
how
hell
this is happening right now. You know, but it's happening. You know, it's happening, people. We're taking
Oh,
this.
this is what happens on Respirators, man. It all kicks off, and everyone jumps in to see what's going on. Maybe we do it on purpose, but
All right, Farker,
anyway.
he's trying it again. This is what we call. He doesn't run from the grind. He runs into the storm.
I think I'm on my hotspot now. I think I have good Wi-Fi. I pay a lot for good Wi-Fi. I get like the like terapixel or some bullshit like how many gigs you get? I get like so many gigs, whatever the fuck that means, to do this. And it's not, believe it or not, it doesn't work that well in tornadoes. So I'm on my cellular data now. If I cut out again, I'm gonna do it on my phone, and it should work. But hopefully this is fine for now. Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
I don't know. Take charge again, Parker. You know, we was about to
I'll
run
just
on
take
the
over. I'm
Security
just
Genesis
about-
card.
waffling.
About Sakura Genesis.
Sakura
We
Genesis.
didn't manage to start.
Oh, I was just gonna say we're also gonna talk about WrestleMania weekend stuff, like through a Japanese, Puro Joshi and also Lucha lens. Talk about the important stuff that sort of intersects with our fandom, what we are interested in, what we care about as fans of Japanese and Mexican wrestling. So let's start by talking about Sakura Genesis. Now, if I was a professional, and I'm not, I would have pulled up the card ahead of time. However, we know, fellas, what the main event is going to be, and it is going to be Kazuchika Okada defending the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the 2023 New Japan Cup winner Sonata, fresh off of joining the what the fuck, just five guys now stable, and yeah, new look and everything, new finisher. What's it called? It's like the Velveteen Dream DDT. What's it called?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the official title. Yeah, make sure I'm gonna go on PW Wiki and go ahead and change that. But yeah, he's just like he puts him like he's gonna do like a flatliner or a Blade Runner or something, and then he twists his arm around and he does a DDT, and yeah, so that's kind of his situation there. But decent buzz around a title change here. I think Sonata has some interest and excitement behind him, more so than he's had in a long time. I would say you'd have to go back to him making the G1 finals back in 2020 to see the last time that there was this sort of excitement behind Sonata as a character. This is somebody who 4 or 5 years ago people thought was going to be, next up in terms of making the main event scene in New Japan. But even, people forget that he challenged for he challenged Ibushi for the title. And I think that was the show that Ospreay like rode off B with the cutter on it, and I think that's why people forget that it was Sonata challenging for the title, the double titles, I believe, on that show.
It was a weird time.
It was a really weird time for New
It was
Japan.
a weird time.
It was like that was like people talked about pre-Forbidden Door was kind of cursed, but like that was so cursed for New Japan. So I've waffled on a lot here. Talk about this main event, Jamie. We'll start with you, Jamie. How did you feel about Sonata's New Japan Cup run? First of all, did you think he was impressive? Do you like that he's added these little quirks and changes? Do you like the new character? Not really a new character, but obviously the stable change, everything like that. Just how do you feel about Sonata right now? Main eventing one of the 4 or 5 biggest shows of the year for New Japan.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this run so far. I like the new look. I think I mentioned 2 weeks ago when we were last live, he looks a lot younger.
Yeah, he looks way younger.
And yeah, he's wrestling with a bit more intensity now, I think. And and I like the fit with the just five guys. I like that faction. I want to make a slightly bold prediction here, because I was right. I was correct with Jake
Ooh.
Lee, of the good looking guys. So I'd now like to put forth this for the just five guys. I think Sonata's winning.
Really?
I don't know.
Sonata's winning.
I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking, trying to work out who's going to beat Okada, and we've already had a Shingo challenge. Ibushi's left. Jay White's left. Other than like Naito or Ospreay, those are like the top upper echelon guys. So I think it's about time we make a new star. And I think Sonata could be the one.
Okay. All right. I'm interested in that. Monty, did you like how much of Sonata did you watch in the New Japan Cup? And I don't even know. Like, are you a Sonata fan? Do you think like he's kind of polarizing? A lot of people think he kind of sucks, but
He frustrates me. Like you're watching sometimes and you're like, this guy, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I know, because there's that people I think have already sort of moved on, but because he had the stable change ahead of that, but that Kenta match, people hated that match. Dave, if there's like not interference or anything in a match, and there was like a little bit, but not really in the Kenta Sonata match. Dave Meltzer almost never rates New Japan main events lowly unless it's like House of Torture or really, heavy with the Bullet Club interference stuff. And he like eviscerated this match. He thought it was terrible. He thought it was so boring, and I agreed. Yeah, I can see that frustration from a lot of people with Sonata. He definitely sometimes he just kind of disappears. It's like he manages to wrestle a 25-minute match where very little memorable happens.
He's just so like. Sometimes you'll be watching and he's just kind of floating along out there,
he's like even keeled to a fault. He's very blank face. Like he has kind of like wide eyes and sort of a bemused expression at all times where his eyebrows are kind of raised too. It's yeah, but I think it fits the stable perfectly. They're a very like irreverent group. I think Taichi and Taka and all those people, I think they make it he fits the group well with the little adjustments that he's made since then. But when they get in the ring, they're big on intensity and doing what they can to obviously win the matches too. So yeah, I don't think we'll get a title change here. It would be crazy to have the three main singles title holders in Japan be Sonata, Jake Lee, and Yuji Nagata in 2023.
Yuji Nagata supremacy,
crazy.
brother.
Yeah, he was awesome, by the way. I mean, he's the best of those three, but like,
which is even wild. Not even that.
Right? Yeah, he's like a million years old, and he's like still the best. Yeah, I don't know, but I see what you're saying, Jamie, and the idea that who else is there? Like, who are they going to build? Is it like, so usually what they do for Dontaku or whatever the equivalent is going to be, the Big May pay-per-view, that they didn't do last year because of Forbidden Door was after Dominion, right? Yeah. And so the usually the main event of the Dontaku pay-per-view, the May pay-per-view, is the runner-up in the New Japan Cup will challenge. So that was Sonata a few years ago, Naito last year, I believe. Past years it's been like Tanahashi as well. And so that would be David Finlay this year, which Sonata versus Finlay to main event a New Japan, for not just for the New Japan Cup, but for the title. That's kind of crazy.
When you put it like that, yeah.
Yeah. And of course they can always they don't have to follow that formula, right? They can have anybody on the roster be the person who challenges. But yeah, they still got these people they got to build. I don't know. I don't know who else it would be. There's always people. Yeah.
Like Jamie said with Sonata, it's like they kind of could do just like a fresh face, like really in the fold at the top, So yes, Sonata can challenge for the title like once or twice a year or something, but like you never really bite, and and how often do you get the chance to actually like put someone in the main event fold like this? Like someone who's kind of been a fringe player for a moment, and now with the New Japan Cup win and the new look pops me tremendously, and obviously the faction and all that sort of stuff. It's like you might be onto something here, but he could probably just lose again, and and just blend back into kind of where he was at with a new look and new group.
The other thing is just Five Guys. It just doesn't. To be the IWGP champion in like kind of a comedy-ish stable where it's the name is like obviously very tongue-in-cheek. They have the Taka intro and all that type of stuff. It's like what does he say at the Jamie? What does he say at the end of matches? It's like you gon' die or something like that. It's so stupid.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a playoff of him saying "just tap out" for Saber all those years. Couple super chats here. Rob, of course. Shout out Just Five Guys. I like the Ice Spice. I'm just kind of looking at that. Anyway, shout out Just Five Guys. And then we have friend of the show, Henry Charles Albert David. On behalf of the Royal Family Park, we would like to announce that you are from here on are formerly knighted, sir. Wow! Oh, and he's got the sort of the that and the that type of deal. That's exciting. Wow! I didn't know that was going to happen today. That's really cool. I'm gonna have to message mom after this. Let her know. But you guys have to call me Sir Parker now, though. So it's like when you win King of the Ring and you're king. That's me now. You still have some crimes to answer to, or I guess your uncle does, or your dad. I don't really know how the royal family works. That's sort of a blind spot for me because it's fake. Okay, so official. So Monty doesn't know either. It seems like a white British person thing to know. Do you know how the royal family works, Jamie?
I'm not British. I'm Scouse. We don't like them either.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That was a good answer. Jamie, I was in Sam's Club today and I saw they were selling 18 packs of Prime for like $10. And I was like, whoa. because I know the price is over in the UK. I was like, maybe I need to start getting some sort of business model together. Yeah, where I can do some reselling, but I don't know how customs works.
You got to take a loan out over here for all that.
Yeah. Well, Logan Paul did a great job this weekend, and Prime got there. Prime got there at advertising space on WrestleMania. Okay, so let's make a final prediction here on this main event. Jamie's going to call Sonata winning. Monty, do you think Sonata is he going to take it, or is Okada just going to retain?
I think he's still going to be looking at the lights. Rainmaker.
Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. I think my sort of bold. It's not that bold because it's Okada and it's a New Japan main event, but I think this match is going to be fantastic. I just, even though he's more inconsistent than a lot of wrestlers sort of on his standing, I guess, I've seen so many just excellent Sonata matches, especially like it really feels to me like he steps up the bigger the stages, the bigger the opponent, all that type of stuff. I was a big believer in the G1 Final 2020. A lot of people thought that match was kind of boring. I thought that closing sequence in that match where they were trading near falls was just stellar. And I adored the Okada Sonata series in 2019. So that's that situation. Hey, interrupting. I guess he got a break from court proceedings. We have our young friend at Murph Burner stopping by to say hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
This is me. Hello. I wanted to say thank you all for watching. I see all the lots of live viewers we see. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. And say I don't know what kayfabe excuse Parker's given for me not being here. I can tell you that it's not anything he said. So just take those with a grain of salt. And, I'm sorry that I'm being replaced by Monty, but Monty has pretty good opinions. So and Monty's a good fellow. So I'm just gonna drop by and say thanks for watching Dumb Guy Live, and I'll see you guys next week.
God bless.
Thanks, Murph. But bye there, little bro. See you, buddy. Okay, so yeah, I think Okada will retain, but I'm really excited about the match, and it's Sumo Hall, it's New Japan, it's Okada. Like, how bad can it be?
We lost
lots
4
of title-
viewers when Murph joined.
He's such a. I don't know, man. I don't know. There were some people who were
Bad for
disappointed that he
business.
wasn't going to be on. Yeah, I don't know. He's like the. How do I say this? Who's somebody who Triple H? He's the Bronson Reed of Dumb Guy Live. He's pretty talented, actually. He does his job well when asked to do so, but he's just not a draw. And with new management coming in, he might be a little expendable. Okay, so I think that's kind of how that's going to go. Yeah, lots of title matches at Sakura Genesis as always. We have 4 more on the show, including a crazy match. This is like one of those. I always facetiously say like wrestling's freaking crazy right now, but this is one of those that like actually kind of lives up to that, which is Mercedes Moné defending the IWGP Women's Championship in a 3-way match against Hazuki and Azumi, both of Stardom, of course. 2 of the best high-speed wrestlers in the world. That seems to be the vibe heading into this one. Jamie, I'm going to let you sort of outline the preview here, since you're our resident Stardom guy. But oh my God, Mercedes wrestling in Sumo Hall against. These are great wrestlers, but they're not the two of the 5 biggest stars in the company, and there was no guarantee we were going to get a match like this. So, Jamie, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Like you said, not two of the big main eventers in Stardom, but 2 of like the absolute best in terms of in-ring ability. Azumi's been high speed champion now for quite a while. Whether she'll still be champion within a few days, I don't know. But yeah, she's like the absolute best at this kind of style of wrestling. And then Hazuki is she's kind of moved on a little bit from the high speed division. She's been doing a lot of tag team stuff. Hazuki, for my money, is the most hard hitting wrestler in Stardom at the moment. Anyway, she's like really impactful, especially the big boots and stuff and the face washes. So I think out of all the wrestlers that are going to give, you see all the memes of like Mercedes taking a few bumps, and she's either going to really love it or it's going to be like, whoa, back to the Fed. But Hazuki's the one that's going to test that. And then like just seeing Mercedes in that high speed style with those 2, I think it's going to be really great. She's obviously been training a bit of lucha libre as well, so I'll be interested to see how she brings that in. But yeah, what are you guys thinking about this one?
Hazuki,
No, I'm. Go ahead,
Parker.
Monty. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Yeah. We're just working on this a little bit. Sometimes we're kind of the hosts of the shows, and so we sometimes talk over each other when we're on the same show. But I'm first of all just really happy that, kind of like you said, we're seeing both Azumi and Hazuki getting the interactions with Mercedes. There was no guarantee that was ever going to happen in their careers. So, Mercedes is the biggest star in women's wrestling in the world, and she could wrestle anybody she wants to on any given time in any promotion. And she's taking the time to wrestle 2 upper mid-carders in Stardom, right, on a New Japan show for a Stardom title, right? I just think that's so cool. I particularly love it for Hazuki, who has had a really unique path in her career. She was very much somebody who started young, worked really hard, kept developing her skills. She was a big part, of course, of the Odatai run with Kagetsu that everybody loved. Kagetsu now you should know, of course. And then she retired for 3 years ish. And when she came back, she didn't miss a beat. She came back just for the Hanakamura show originally, which I think is telling as well. And then she comes back and she doesn't miss a beat. And I would argue she's better now than she ever was in her first run. And I saw pretty much all of her first run. It's easy to romanticize people's like, you know, when you got into a promotion who was really good at that time, and it never feels like it's that good. But Hazuki's better now than she ever was. So I'm so stoked that she's getting this opportunity to wrestle with Mercedes in this match. And she's gotten away from like the high speed thing a little bit. That was her thing early in her career, but they've really leaned into it over the last 6 months or so. And I think that's done well for her too. So I'm looking forward to the style here. I saw, who was it? Let's see. Oh, so this is a really common concern I'm seeing, you guys, and I'm interested to see what your take on this. Obviously, at the Tokyo Dome, we had it was Mayu versus Tam? Is that who it was? Who was it? Kairi versus Tam. Kairi versus Tam. Yeah, and it was 6 minutes, right? And all the time, ostensibly, probably went to the Mercedes entrance and the confrontation there with Kairi. I'm seeing this as a really common complaint. I'm wondering if you guys are worried about this too. How likely you think it is that they're not going to get their time or that situation?
Not one bit.
I'm not either, frankly.
Bro, Mercedes. Come on, you know, Mercedes ain't going out there for a little 6-minute triple threat match, you know, to fuck around.
Yeah, the Kairi match was like 24 minutes, wasn't it? The New Japan one
so
in America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was around there. Yeah,
she said recently in a video that like she thinks it's going to be one of the best triple threat matches of all time. So I she's getting.
I believe it. I'll give it to her.
And also, obviously, they're paying her a lot of money as well. It's like, you know.
I think the big evidence is that, well, obviously, of course, that she had a 20+ minute match at whatever the San Jose show was, and then not only that, the whole reason, frankly, that the Kairi Tam match was short at the Tokyo Dome was because of Mercedes. Like the idea was that they're giving all this time, like they have a set. Geto has a set amount of time he wants to give to the women on this show, and if you're gonna pay all that money and go to all that effort for Mercedes, you're gonna give her the time that she warrants. So I'm not worried about that at all. I have full confidence that they're gonna go out there and give it the requisite time it deserves.
Yeah, I think even if it was like slightly shorter than people are hoping for, like we said, these are, you know, the two Stardom wrestlers are both like high speed specialists, right? It could be a bit of a sprint and it would still be super high quality. I would like them to get, you know, a decent amount of time, but you know, if worst comes to worst, I think the match will still be excellent.
Listen, Tam versus Kairi was like really good.
It was so good for a 6-minute match. It was so great.
It really was, man. Well, yeah, this triple threat match, man. I've seen Hazuki like kind of just on Stardom cards and stuff like that, and you know, but the Saya match earlier on this year was like the first big match I've seen her in. I thought she was like absolutely incredible in it. Jamie mentioned it earlier, but she's probably one of the most hard-hitting women in the promotion at the moment. And you know, if you've not seen her before, that is 100% a great place to start before this Mercedes match coming up, because it is honestly, I think it's one of the best women's matches I've seen this year. Yeah, of course, Azumi, of course, she's had like, you know, people always talk very glowingly about her, especially the high speed title run, etc., etc., etc. A lot of people were quite happy to see Mercedes was facing her when they were mentioning each other. And you add Hazuki into it, who's recently impressed me, so I'm fired up for this, man. I think they're going to get a decent amount of time. And like Jamie said, even if they don't get like 20 minutes and they just get like a 10 or something like that, you know, I think they'll still kill it, man. I'm probably the match I'm most excited for on the card, if anything, to be honest. But yeah, it's
Mercedes,
you know,
like
yeah.
outside of
easy,
WWE,
man.
it's incredible. Couple other things talking about Azumi. I think if you're a regular watcher of this, you know that I'm like a little lower on Azumi than a lot of people, just because number one, I think people get caught up in the potential of her. Even if she's not quite 100% there, as like a full package all-star main event wrestler. And the other thing is, I don't love the high speed style, frankly. I think a lot of times it can be kind of convoluted and contrived and doesn't really feel like wrestling for me. And the Azumi May Saruga, or was it Starlight Kid versus? I think it was Azumi versus May last year, right, Jamie? Yeah. I think that was kind of the like peak of that, where it was like, all right, guys, you actually have to like fight sometimes when you do wrestling. So I'm not worried about that here. I don't think Sasha will ever get into a situation where a wrestling match becomes contrived or leans into that high speed stuff too much. Like she's way too hard hitting and physical, and to make that happen.
Mercedes is just so good at just like match structuring and stuff like that. Like she has like one of the great.
She's the best women's wrestler in the world. Like
she has like a genuine like one of the best minds for match layouts and stuff like that of any wrestler, male or female. I think she's special, man. She is really, really special.
She's a genius, and she's an incredible athlete too, and she just works her tail off as well. Like she came back, it was her first match back, and after a year, and like she was like barely breaking a sweat afterwards against Kyrie, and it's like, oh my god, she's crazy. So so I think we're all three of us are stoked for this one. All three of us, it's probably either our first or second most anticipated match on this card. So really looking forward to it. By the way, one final thought. The triple threat thing is sort of spooking people and making them think that this might be it for Kyrie, but no, they got to do the Mayu match, right, Jamie?
Yeah, well, yeah. So we know who the next challenger is for the IWGP Championship. That's Mayu Iwatani, who's like pretty much the ace of Stardom, and that's going on pretty high on in that card. Also, there are 2 spots on that Yokohama Arena card that make all the sense in the world to be Azumi and Hazuki, respectively. There's no part of me that thinks either of them are winning. So, like, I'm I bet my house on it. it's not happening.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, couple more title matches. I like really good card. You would expect that for Sakura Genesis, but there's just very little on this show that doesn't seem like it'll be great. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Hiromu Takahashi is going to be defending against Robbie Eagles, returning to the promotion. He was away for a while, about 6 months, just doing whatever in Australia generally, and he has freshly joined TMDK. He's joined Zack Sabre Jr.'s stable. It's a kind of Aussie-centric stable outside of Sabre. Obviously, the stable originated in Australia with Shane and the other one, Mikey, right? So yeah, it's like they're just dudes. They're just dudes who wrestle. But I like if Murph was here. Murph hates Robbie Eagles for some reason. It's like kind of arbitrary.
I don't get it, man. I like Robbie Eagles. If I remember correctly, had like a pretty, a very good like Best of Super Juniors run. Either was it this year, last year? Within the last year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, last year he had there's the big match against Phantasmo that everybody remembered from Korakuen last year. I recall that. It's also the Hiromu has had 2 fantastic matches as junior champion already this year in the Leo Rush match, which was stellar, and the Yo match. And it's not like Yo is the most barn burner exciting wrestler out there. I think Robbie Eagles has him in pretty much every category. No reason to believe this won't be great, in my opinion. I think it'll just be great. Oh, and he had a great match with Amakusa at the New Japan Noah show as well. So I would not be shocked to see a title change here. This is one where I'm like, I kind of see it. Eagles getting a new stable. Another thing they like to do is before Best of the Super Juniors, which of course will happen in May and June as usual. A lot of times New Japan likes to have somebody who's not like their top guy as champion during the tournament itself.
Take the belt off Hiromu to put it back on.
Exactly, yes, because he's already won it 3 straight years. And what are you not going to have Hiromu win 4 straight years? Like, come on. So I could definitely see there being a title change here. You guys like Robbie Eagles? I like Robbie Eagles.
I like him. I like him quite a bit, man. I think he's pretty good. And he's like, then you've got Hiromu, like you said, he's getting these stellar matches out of Yo. I think Hiromu is like, he might be one of the best 10 wrestlers in the world. You know, like I think he's like that good. Like, it's just because he's like the junior guy. It kind of gets I don't want to say overlooked because those who watch him absolutely appreciate him, and he's over and stuff like that, like over in Japan and stuff. So I don't quite want to like just slap underrated on him, you know. But I think he's so good. But so I'm expecting a really, really, really strong match for this one.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think he's in that kind of like all-timer junior bracket now.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about that. I can't remember in what context, but yeah, he absolutely slots in with all-time greats in Japanese juniors.
Yeah, and then like you mentioned, like just from this year, he's had already a ton of great junior matches, and then Robbie Eagles coming back, you know, new faction. I think the point you made about the best of the Super Juniors, that's got me thinking about a title change more than the faction change, just because they do like to follow that trend. And then again, when you factor in the fact that Hiromu like always wins best of the Super Juniors,
Right.
So I wouldn't rule it out. So yeah, I'm thinking possibly a title change here as well.
Looking forward to this one. I think it'll be great. I think one of the reasons I want to make this observation that the juniors that Hiromu hasn't been seen as that important recently is New Japan did like literally nothing with their junior division in the second half of last year. I think Ishimori defended the title once between the Hiromu match and Wrestle Kingdom in that like 6-month range. It was so weird. I was like, it was just really bizarre. They did the junior tag league that nobody like cared about. That was pretty much it. So now we're getting like we're back into the consistent New Japan schedule, consistent junior title matches with a fighting champion who's a big star and a great wrestler. So I'm happy about that.
I remember when we did the draft late. I think it was late last year, and I think I drafted Taiji Ishimori, and I don't. He's one of them. Like, I don't think many people remembered he was the champion.
Yeah,
That
he had like a 200-day reign last year. He won. It was so weird when Hiromu won Best of the Super Juniors, and then Ishimori just retained in the title match. That match was fantastic, by the way. That was like one of the best matches of last year. Okay. 2 more title matches to talk about. I don't think we need to go super deep into these. We spent a lot of time on this show. I think those 3 were the big matches on the show. Before we get into that, quick super chat from, if I scroll up, from MavsFan84. Thoughts on Oleg Boltin? I think he's going to be big. He is big. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, he's been great in his couple of matches. It's just one of those things. In my opinion, you just never know until you're given a full gimmick and you come back and you wrestle in not a young lion context.
He's a beast.
He is a beast.
I'm all in with Oleg Boltin. I'm not waiting for it. He doesn't need a gimmick. He's just
doesn't need a gimmick. He's just Oleg Boltin. They should shorten his name and just call him Oleg.
Oleg, yeah. But no, I think he's got a lot of potential.
Couple more title matches. Bishamon defending the IWGP Tag Team Championships against Aussie Open, which should be a lot of fun. And another one where I think we could see a title change here too. New Japan obviously loves Aussie Open. Mark Davis, he probably wasn't intended to make it this far, but he did make it to the semifinals of the New Japan Cup, which is a big deal. And Kyle Fletcher had some he pinned Yoshihashi clean, middle of the ring, which is actually kind of a big deal now, right? That doesn't actually happen that often. So obviously big plans for Aussie Open. And of course Davis beat Goto, right? So they each beat the tag champions, and so they will challenge here. And I think we're getting a title change here, which is fine by me. Aussie Open are great. It was back in 2019 already we were kind of hinting at Aussie Open coming to New Japan for the tag league, and then Mark Davis tears his ACL and they're not able to come. And so after all that time, finally, it feels like they might be getting their chance to win New Japan Gold.
Yeah, I would agree that they're winning here. The one thing before, too recently, that made me consider, I wasn't too sure, was that they were in that Ring of Honor title match, and I wasn't sure what their like contract situation was, because I remember the period where they were like, are they signed? Are they not signed anywhere? So I thought if they won that match, then I was like, okay, maybe not. But now that I think they're fully in with New Japan, I think this is where we give them the belts.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think Aussie Open, like, this just, I feel like they should be champs, and it feels like it would make sense for them to win. But it's just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like I've just got this horrible feeling that New Japan just don't want to belt them up. You know, I just worries me. You know,
No,
worries
I feel
me.
like they love him. Like they had matches with Suzuki and Sabre in Rev Pro when they were the tag champions. Always a big deal. Like Fletcher got a big singles match with Jay White after he came back. I don't know. I think they like love Aussie Open, and obviously being a part of United Empire helps too. Like the designated tag team in the top heel stable in the company is a big deal too. So yeah, I think we're getting a title change here. This would actually, I'd have to look at the card again. This is my most confident title change on the show. I think Aussie Open are getting those belts. New Japan World Television Championship, last title match on the show. Zack Sabre Jr. defends against Shota Umino, which is interesting because Shota's been doing these like really long epics since coming back from Excursion. Not a lot of like hard hitting fast sprints like this. This will be like a nice preview for what he'll be like in the G1. But I think Sabre is retaining here. I think most people's eyes are just going to be on Umino himself, because I think obviously the Ospreay match was fantastic, but since then people have been kind of mixed on Shota. So I'm looking forward to him putting together a good performance here to help his case.
Yeah, I've enjoyed Shota so far, but like you said, I'm looking for him, to show a little bit more now. I think the early portion of his return was a lot more exciting than what we've got recently. But I think this one will be great, and these kind of shorter matches. I think Zack Sabre Jr. is the perfect first champion with this belt. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Monty, what about you?
We on the ZSJ Shota. What do you guys think there's a chance at the Battle of Shota, or
I do think there's a chance. I would still say that Sabre's more likely, but I don't know. I could see them putting it on Shota.
Well, I'm interested to see what way they go with it, to be honest. But I love watching Zack Sabre Jr., man. So anytime he's wrestling someone even remotely decent, I get a little bit fired up for it if I'm watching the card. So yeah, looking forward to this one, man. Looking forward to it.
I think Zach jokingly said, if Shota beats him, he'll retire. So,
no.
Okay, we got the edit stick. That's good.
So, maybe not, but I don't know.
And then aside from that, it's just some undercard tags. Nothing too big to write home about there. I guess notably, Hikuleo is still there, right? That was kind of a question. Yeah, he's still wrestling. But yeah, that's all the notable stuff. There's also I don't know if this is like a thing or if they're like picking if this is supposed to be like some mystery, but there's currently like a TBA all TBA 6-man tag for the show. I don't know if that's just going to be Young Lions or what it's going to be, but I guess we'll see there.
I saw that and I was just like,
Yeah.
That's the thing with New Japan. Like, it could either be like something or just nothing, like just fucking nothing.
The vignette that's been airing. Is that for this show or is that?
Is it? Someone in the chat let us know. Yeah, that vignette that's been airing about that people thought was Danielson. Who did I think it was? Oh. Didn't I think it was Davey Richards or Eddie? I don't think it's going to be Davey Richards. I got to be frank about this right now. I don't think it's going to be the American Rules Davey Richards.
Oh man, who could he?
It could genuinely be Eddie Edwards. That would not be exciting. I think he's still really good as a wrestler, but New Japan and
Nah,
Impact
you can't
have
be.
a good
It can't be.
former GHC heavyweight and national champion. He's a big deal. I don't know.
Oh man, you can't be. Nah, come on.
I just don't know. Like, who else could it be? Is it going to be Yuya? Is it going to be?
No, but part of me feels like it's going to be someone somewhat significant, but like, but we'll
What if
pop
it's just
for.
like Dan
And,
Maloney?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know.
but the video package. I don't know, man.
It's going to be Danielson.
Yeah.
Danielson. You see, because his
Eddie
Twitter profile
Kingston.
picture has it's Eddie Kingston. It's Jay White,
The wolf.
the American Wolf, Jay White.
It's Wheeler you.
Yeah. I have no idea. Wheeler Yuta, could you imagine?
What's Suji?
Oh,
up to?
Shibata. It should be Shibata. Bring him
Shibata.
back. Yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, Shibata's a champion. Why can't they just let him wrestle? They'll let him wrestle for AEW, but
I was
not.
about to ask about that. Like, do you think
Yeah.
he wrestles for New Japan this year?
Is it because he went into business for himself? Is he
I think that's yeah. I think they're like alright. I think that match with Ren, they were like alright. You've done the Zack Sabre Jr. thing, and then we're gonna throw you out there with Ren, and take it easy, and like
Well,
he just did. They were just
I think he just genuinely has never been cleared. Like he wasn't cleared for the Ren match. It was supposed to be an exhibition, right? And then obviously he did the coolest thing of all time, and now he's back in America. I think he's genuinely just not cleared by New Japan, but they're like, you know what, fuck it, it's fucking Shibata. We'll just let him do whatever. He can wrestle Orange Cassidy. Who cares? Orange Cassidy's not going to hurt him. Wheeler Yuta's probably not going to hurt him. Although Wheeler does do that apron German, but if they do a pure rules match, maybe they won't hurt him. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I think it's kind of something like that. Like they don't want the liability of doing it,
This fucking freak, dude. Why are you here? Decide whether you want to be on the show or not.
My thing's done, dude. I'm home. I can do the pod.
Okay, are you at your computer?
No, because my computer's dead. But I want to be on the pod because it's my pod. I'm here for 45. I'm here for the next 45 minutes. You got me.
Okay. Cool.
What are we talking about?
Don't worry about it. We're gonna move on to Stardom Cinderella. So have fun talking about that.
Actually, I watched Stardom. I watched it.
No, you didn't.
Did you? He's lying.
You're full of shit, dude.
Who's in the semi-finals, Mark?
Yeah, go on.
I know this.
Murph.
Waka Tsukiyama. Ami Sarai. Mirai. And fuck, who's the last one? I got the first three right?
Yeah,
You did.
Yeah.
I'm stunned that you got those. Actually,
Same.
I did not.
I've been owned.
Who is it? What stable? Give me a stable.
She's in DDM.
Lady C.
Lady C's
She's
not
not
in
in
DDM.
Fuck.
And also, why would Lady C be in the Final Four?
Why would Waka Tsukiyama be in the final four?
Because they're telling a story, Murph Burner.
DDM. DDM. Who's still in DDM? The Austrian. What's her name? Thekla.
It's not Tekla.
Thekla.
No.
Thekla. Who is it?
My Sakurai.
But she stinks.
Well, it's a Stardom.
This is
Sometimes
Stardom
they-
now, brother.
She's not that bad anymore. She used to be really bad, but she's not
She
that
starts
bad
doing
anymore.
a Harlem Hangover, and it's quite beast. So
Yeah. She likes
I think
to. She does like a diving leg drop thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, let's talk about that. Final Four in the Cinderella, because Murph was very sort of scattershot on that one. On one side, we have Jamie. It's the match we thought we were gonna get forever. That we were like, why isn't it this? Waka Tsukiyama against Mai Sakurai in the semifinals of Cinderella. On the other half, it is in fact Mirai versus Ami Sarai, former tag partners, still part of the same stable. One is the future Stardom champion. One won Cinderella last year. Even though these are not the most star-studded semifinals we've ever seen. I don't think anybody in the world, it's genuinely like the American basketball Final Four. Like nobody in the world expected these four to be the Final Four. Zero people. I'm kind of goddamn intrigued by it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Usually, if it's like kind of not that exciting, I'm like, come on, guys, just put the best wrestlers in there. But I think both sides have a wrestler I'm super into right now, and that's enough for me to make it engaging. Jamie, talk about these semis for us. Let's start by talking about. Let's talk Mirai and Saray first.
Yeah. You say, former tag team partners. They are the next tag team title challengers. So that's an interesting thing going into this one. They've got that match lined up. So we'll see. How this match plays into that. I don't think Mirai's winning because she won the last one, but I don't know.
Okay.
They like Mirai a lot, so it wouldn't surprise me too much. I'm interested to see. I'm not sure if I've seen these two wrestle each other before. Not that I can remember. They probably have, and I've forgot. But Ami Saray, I'm super high on, as you are. And then Mirai, I think recently. I think God's Eye as a whole have kind of been finding their identity a little bit more recently. And I think that's improved the quality of the majority of their matches. So it'll be interesting to see how these two match up. But I'll probably go with the Ami Saray win. But this one's a tough call. I don't know.
It's really tough. It's really, really tough. So the semis are still over the top rope, right? You can still win in that way. Yeah. So one of the things about Stardom, they are without a doubt the most outside of Cinderella, they are the single most predictable wrestling promotion in Japan, I would say. Just about every single big time match, you can pretty much predict the fall. Like you could go back in Triangle Derby and probably 80-90% of the matches you can predict who's taking the pin in those matches. Cinderella is the one time they kind of go crazy. If these were conventional matches, I would say practically guaranteed Mirai is winning this. And I would say practically guaranteed Waka is winning because she's the only one who like Mai is a pin eater. Like she loses all the time. Waka was that forever, but they're obviously trying to do something with her. So talking specifically about the God's Eye semifinal, I'm a huge Ami Saray fan. I adore Ami Saray. I think she's so great as a wrestler. She has so much potential. Talking about Hazuki being hard hitting, Saray she just completely stands out in terms of how hard hitting she is. I mean, she destroys people with those chops. It's great. She has an awesome finisher, that sort of sit out pile driver, fire thunder driver. It's just great. I really want Saray to win. It is so hard for me to pick against Mirai because she just doesn't lose, even in Cinderella, right? Where everyone loses. She's never lost a Cinderella match in her career. I'm gonna say Mirai advances. Also, the other thing is Ami's future champion. It would just be weird for the future champion to be in the finals of the Cinderella tournament. I'm gonna be fully in Ami Saray's corner, but I just don't see it this time. I'm gonna go with Mirai. Any other insight, fellas, on this one specifically?
Well, when Jamie just mentioned that Mirai won it last year, that's now changed my thinking towards it, because Jamie will even tell you that, like, when I was asking him earlier about, like, who's in the final four, when he sent me the list of names, I was like, well, Mirai is, of course she's going to win it. And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. and now I get it a bit more now. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jamie, I've been told that Waka's maybe the favourite to win this whole thing now.
I think so. That's the story we're telling. I think.
So let's talk about the other semi then. Waka Tsukiyama versus Mai Sakurai. As mentioned earlier, this is the big match that I think most people thought was going to end up being the matchup where Waka finally gets her first win. Mai was her first rival in the promotion. They have the connection between the Cosmic Angels stable and all that, and Mai leaving, and Waka taking sort of that pin eater essentially spot from in Cosmic Angels from Mai. Mai has improved a ton since joining DDM. Waka, we're still like, even though she's been with the promotion for a year and a half, we're still kind of learning who she is as a wrestler because she's never won up until the last month, right? So this is so intriguing. Like this is I love when promotions do inspired booking, when they do something a little bit outside of the box, but it's like, if you're a fan of this promotion, you're almost certainly really into this. And I think for Jamie and I, this is absolutely the case. Jamie, you think Waka is the favorite in this to win this whole thing?
I think so. One thing I want to point out, which I think is quite intriguing, and I've not heard whether this is like 100% the case, but there were two, the first round there were two X's, two mystery entries into this match. One of them ended up being Waka Tsukiyama, who was added late. Mm-hmm. She was never meant to be in this tournament originally. The other one was a new Club Venus member, but apparently Waka may have never been meant to be in this at all. Because I heard, I can't remember where I heard it from, but there was meant to be another new Club Venus member who were getting on Thursday. Apparently there was visa issues, maybe. So Waka was a late addition, apparently. So the fact that she's, now possibly a favorite, I don't know whether that was.
Can we do our predictions for that last Club Venus member? Because I have an idea of who it is. Like, just a kind of an idea. I think,
Billy Kay.
Who are you thinking?
I think it's Steph Delander.
She wouldn't have had visa issues. She was like booked on Mania shows all weekend.
I think that's just like a code word. I think it's Steph Delander. Steph Delander or legitimately, like, I'm not even trolling, Mandy Leon.
The way you just moved past that perfectly valid point was just like, yeah, it's a code word. Just powered through.
It's code word. You think that sounds really bad to me, Murph. I got to be honest.
It's Rossi Ogawa. Really shitty. Rossi Ogawa booked Chardonnay for 2 years. So like, what are we doing here? He doesn't really care.
And
I think
big Chardonnay fan.
I'm not ruling out Mandy Leon at the moment. A few wrestlers have been kind of interacting with the Club Venus members on Twitter. One of them's Zoe Lucas. One of them's Mandy Leon.
God.
But Mariah May teased that it could possibly be someone from somewhere that none of the Club Venus members are from. We don't have an American yet, so maybe I don't know.
I haven't watched it. Is Xena good? Is she good at all?
So Xena's first two matches were kind of a bit nothing, and then she had the match with Tekla, I think it was, and that was pretty good. Well, I think Tekla's really good, so I'm not sure how much of that was her. She's from, she did Australian Ninja Warrior, and she's trained by Robbie Eagles. If I know you don't like Robbie Eagles.
The story I heard was just basically Grayson Waller's apparently like a fucking asshole, and so apparently she like stood up to him, and now like she doesn't get booked in Australia, so she said, you know what, I'm just gonna go to Stardom. So she's at Stardom now. That's the story I heard from my trusty Joshi correspondent. So I hope she does well because that takes guts.
You what?
he muted immediately. He's such a freak. I would not be upset with Zoe Lucas. I think she's pretty good. I liked her in Rev Pro, and I liked her in Stardom too. She didn't like blow me away or anything, but I thought she was good. So she'd be a fine choice for me. I wouldn't mind that at all. But there's like so many people it could be. Like there's so many sort of indie women who like quietly retired during the pandemic, who did Stardom tours and things like that, and Japan tours, and I think any of those could be a shout for somebody who could be this position. There are a lot of people who fit within that. So anyway, Jamie, I agree with you. I think Waka Tsukiyama is winning this tournament. That's what I would do if I was booking. As much as I love Ami Sourei, like, you have a chance to make something happen here. She's so popular right now. She's on fire. Like, like scoff at losing streak gimmicks because nobody ever actually does anything with them, right? Like maybe you win a match and then you're just kind of a mid carder from then.
Yeah.
You have a chance. You have a chance to do something really big here with Waka Tsukiyama. The title match would be against Mina Shirakawa, which is of course a big time story, right? Assuming Mina wins this title from Saya, which I think everybody kind of assumes is going to happen.
I don't think it's necessarily against Mina. It's kind of become the white belt tournament, but it's
Mhm.
not officially. They
Right. Okay.
I don't know, they could, but I would agree that it's probably likely to be Mina. But
So
I don't think
I
it's
just love the idea of actually doing something with the losing streak gimmick. You let her pin Nanai Takahashi, maybe the most protected Joshi wrestler of the last 20 years. You throw her in the tournament as a mystery entrant. You let her get these victories. You let her overcome her first big rival in the promotion, and then maybe what it ends up being is she pins Ami Saray in the final clean, and then she gets a future title match and she wins the future belt or something like that after losing in a white belt challenge. But either way, I think you got to do it. I think this is the one. I think people are going to be pissed if it's not her, frankly.
Yeah. Have you seen the Waka meter that she's got?
No.
There's this counter and it's currently on 3. It's like counting her wins.
That's on the Waka meter. That's so good.
Yeah.
The Waka
I think they're selling like merch and stuff. But on my Sakurai, she's kind of become she's become MJF. she's cutting these heel promos. She's calling the people ugly and poor.
Wow.
I don't know.
Please.
She's showing
You're
a
not
real
going to
bit of
sell
character.
photo books that way.
So if they went with Mai, that'd be interesting to see what the plan was there. But I do think Waka's the right call.
They should not go with Mai. That would suck in my opinion. I also think Mariah would kind of suck, frankly. Not just because I don't love her as a wrestler, but she won last year. She's in this exact same spot she was last year at this point. It's just very it's the opposite of what I was talking about earlier with inspired booking. So yeah, that's the Cinderella update. So are you like, if you think out of everybody it will be Waka, Jamie?
Yeah, I think so. I think when night 1 happened, all of the favorites were out. Right. I think
Maika was out, Natsupoi was out. We got to night 2 and the favorite was suddenly like Momo. It was like, what happened?
Yeah. It was I think Tam became a favorite at one point, but like she doesn't need to win, and she's also got a red belt match coming up.
Yeah,
so it was like, yeah, but no, I think Waka's going to be winning.
Awesome, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this Final Four. I think it's a really creative and interesting Final Four, and an actual booking risk, which Stardom does not take often. So it's good to see.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. No, go ahead, Jamie.
Before we move on from Stardom, I just got one little bit of news to touch on. We had Kairi's mystery sign-in reveal.
Yes.
At the weekend on Sunday, and it was who I thought it was. Well, it wasn't who I thought it was originally, because I originally thought it was Sori, because that report came out the same day as Kairi put the video out. I was like, but then once Soriano dropped Ice Ribbon's top title, I thought, okay, now I've got a new pick, and it was indeed Soriano. She'll be teaming with Kairi and Natsupoi at the Yokohama Arena show against Prominence for the artist belt, and I'm looking forward to it a lot.
I would be completely fine if she ended up being signed full time. She was so I was not a big fan of her for a long time. Because she was in Oz Academy a lot of the time, and I frankly felt like a lot of her popularity came from her look and all that type of stuff, and not so much for her wrestling. She, in a time of genuine turmoil for Ice Ribbon, became the Ice Cross Infinity champion after Sakushi retired with the belt, and Tsukasa Fujimoto also retired, essentially, to have a baby. Saori came in, she won that belt, and she put together great defense after great defense against the entire roster, and she really anchored Ice Ribbon over the last 9 months or so. So I'm super happy to see her getting a shot. So I just got a crazy message from Murph in the private chat. I'm really excited to see her get the shot in Stardom. She's great. I would be completely fine with her being signed full time, and I hope that ends up being the case.
Yeah.
So the message I got from Murph was, can we talk about the Sakushi thing being bullshit? Yeah, sure. So you know how Sakushi stabbed Kagetsu? I guess that didn't happen, according to Yappy, who is a wrestler for Ice Ribbon, who also was like talking about a lot of stuff after Asahi, now Ishikawa, left the promotion. Asahi now in Actress Girls. Makes me really sad. I will never watch another Asahi match as long as she's an Actress Girls, because I will never watch Actress Girls. But anyway, I guess
like what?
What?
It just came like so nonchalant. Didn't like someone leave like a joke comment on the Twitch stream?
Yeah, someone was like, Sakushi stabbed someone in the comments, and Yappy was like, no, that's actually not what happened. That was just like a translation thing. It like there was a confrontation, but there was no stabbing or anything like that. It was very much blown out of proportion from what I can tell.
I'd like to publicly apologize to Sakushi Haruka, because I've made multiple jokes over the last couple of years on Twitter Spaces, on tweets saying, yeah, she did not stab you, Ishino, so I really much apologize. So, sorry.
I do not apologize. I think I choose to believe that she did stab Kagetsu. So that's my,
I was about to say the exact same thing.
There we go. Okay, yeah, that will never change
it.
in my mind. Yeah, that's always going to be the case. Okay, let's move on. Talk a little bit about WrestleMania weekend. Obviously, I think by far the biggest Puro-related thing from WrestleMania weekend was Kota Ibushi's return to in-ring competition after 18 months of being away. He was gone forever. He came back and he wrestled 2 matches. He wrestled in Bloodsport against Mike Bailey, and then he wrestled at Joey Janela's Spring Break against Janela himself. I did not get a chance to watch Bloodsport. I know, Monty, you watched Bloodsport, right?
Yeah, I watched Ibushi versus people.
Right. How was it? I weirdly feel like I didn't see all that much about it. Like, was it great?
Yeah. It was
okay.
Like what would I say? It was all right, you know. His first match back, and it wasn't very long, you know, because of course Bloodsport, brother. And it was a Bloodsport match. Like it was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good, especially towards the end and the finish and everything. But you know, he's been gone for so long. It's like I watched Bloodsport, but I didn't get to watch Janela's Spring Break. So the opposite to you. But I feel like I went on the Trusty Cage match and seen that him and Janela went 24 minutes. Fired me up, you know. So,
well, I knew it. So that's like people don't realize this if they don't watch GCW. That's been Janela's thing. Is he wrestles like his like shortest matches. It's like 20 minutes in GCW. He always wrestles like insanely long matches for some reason.
Real wrestler,
indeed. I agree. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize the Ibushi match was only like 7 minutes.
the
Bloodsport match. Yeah,
Bloodsport, brother.
So like I'm sure the action was really good, but it probably didn't like blow anybody away or anything. Ibushi's thing, of course, he's talked about this a lot in interviews. He really likes leaning into the MMA stuff right now. That's kind of his deal. So maybe that was his thing, but yeah, I don't know. You have not like made me enthralled at the idea of watching this.
Well, I'm sorry. So it goes sometimes, you know.
So it goes. It's still Ibushi. He looks the same.
That's the thing. It's still Ibushi. It's just it's cool to see him like in that setting, I guess. You know.
I really am like trying to temper my expectations on Ibushi because like that's such a bad injury. But I'm gonna be real with you. Like I don't really care about anything he does until he shows up on AEW. Like once he shows up on AEW, like now we're cooking with gas. Like fuck yeah.
What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't ever?
Honestly, that'd be better for me because he didn't show up at all out last year. But you know, Ibushi's my favorite Japanese wrestler behind Jun Akiyama and Yamato. in Susumu. So he's like top 5 for me. So I love Ibushi. Ibushi is my favorite match of all time. Was Ibushi and Nakamura in Wrestle Kingdom 9. That's still my favorite match of all time. So I'm gonna follow.
People will tell you that match is kind of bad.
Well, that's just him because he's like that. But also it's been a rough week, a rough couple of days for him. So
Oh, let me tell you.
But
Hey,
honestly,
we don't talk about the promotion here.
well, we don't even need to talk about it anymore because it's finished. And boy, I could not be happier. Like
It's Jova.
It's
like
Jover.
you know the LeBron meme of him like by the pool and saying, "I can't believe this is my life right now." Like that's how I
It's you.
feel right now. Like on Saturday night, wrestling was in the shitter, but now we're fucking back.
Bro, you're so shameless whenever WWE does anything remotely good. Like at one point last week, Murph was in his WrestleMania is going to be good panny, and WWE was doing their, of course, they was doing like their press run and everything. And one of the podcasts
This is
that
like
normally
so weird.
one of the podcasts that normally has
fucking hate this
AEW
week,
wrestlers.
dude. I fucking hate this week. This
Well,
week sucks.
One of the podcasts that normally has AEW wrestlers on it. I can't even remember which one it was, but it had like
it was like
Charlotte Flair or someone on it, and Murph was sending it in the group chat like, "What's going on?" Like, this is
Hey, man.
I hate this week, man. Like,
This week
Why are we
sucks,
talking about
man.
the past when we can talk about the future where we're fucking back? Like we're back, baby. We're back.
we
You
don't
just
talk
gotta be
about
like
WWE,
me because
you know?
when WWE, you gotta be like me, Murph, because when WWE is good, I get to watch good wrestling. Like night 1 of Mania was great, I thought.
Dude,
And then
I'm in too deep. I'm just in too
night
deep.
night 2 of Mania was also like pretty great. And
yeah, it
then
was
the main
fucking great.
event,
Cody
the main
lost.
event was so fucking funny. It was like
No.
ha ha ha. It made me very happy. and then Raw, I will never watch Raw. I
Yeah,
watched the opening segment because I wanted to see what they did, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's Raw. It's boring as shit. It sucks.
fucking
I
worse.
turned it off. As soon as I turned it off,
Like I don't like I don't know what
Omos.
it is. Like I get that Raw and SmackDown have been like good the last couple months, but I'd still watch NXT. Like as shambolic as NXT could be, I'll watch NXT before Raw and SmackDown 100 times out of 100. Like it's just I like NXT, and I wish NXT was good. Like that's the one. If NXT was good and the main roster is just shambolic, like that's a win for me. But
That's what it was for a hot minute before AEW.
it was
You know?
awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, it was good.
Great. It was awesome.
I thought I was more of a defender of like NXT from the start of AEW to when the pandemic
2.0.
happened. A lot of people started to dog on it. I still thought it was really good for the most
You
part.
see, like I enjoyed it too. I didn't watch it live. Like that's really the
Remember
thing. Like,
Ibu being like NXT was better than AEW at that
Yeah,
point?
but
The thing that killed me with NXT was the hot shotting, man.
that was brutal.
You know,
was
they were
so-
just
It was like
you know.
people would make like it was like beyond parody at like some points. Like
Yeah,
they would
Triple
do-
H lost his mind, bro.
they would do shit like AEW would like when the most shameless thing they did is when they put Sasha and Io on the show opposing Fighter Fest in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was pretty
And that was
funny.
the last time like they won like the ratings, just because like Sasha Banks is facing fucking Io Shirai, but literally no, that's such a funny time. We'll always look back at that time.
Murph, did you see the results of the Mochi show today?
I haven't because I'm so excited to watch it. Like I'm literally, like I'm on spring break starting tomorrow, and I'm literally just gonna watch wrestling. Like I'm excited.
You don't want me to talk about it at all.
We can talk about it. Like I don't really care about like I just want to see the match. Like was it good?
Okay.
Did it look good?
Congo are the new Open the Twin Gate champions.
You're fucking kidding me.
Keno and Shuji Kondo are the new Open the Twin Gate champions.
Okay,
Keno
okay.
won by KO.
Who did KO? A Big Boss or?
I assume he KO'd Big. He probably did a shoot kick to the head on Big Boss and won.
You see though, if it was like Keno and Soya, like I like Soya, but like I'd be like, eh. But like Shuji Kondo is a Dragon Gate wrestler, so I'm okay with that. The worst fucking Dragon Gate time period, I still say this is. Do you remember last year when the Triangle Gate belts just like kept going through Noah?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, that fucking sucks. I'm okay with Keno. No, this Booyadin show looks fucking awesome. I'm really excited to watch it.
It looks sweet. I bet the crowd's really hot for it too.
Yeah, Shinjuku Face is like the best arena in Japan.
Yeah,
like for
it's good.
crowds.
Okay, couple super chats, and then I want to quickly talk about some more like WrestleMania weekend stuff, and we'll talk about Beast of the Week, and then we'll close it out. This is pretty funny. One of the like GIF people on Twitter was like Kota did a V trigger. It was just the Kamigoye. It was just his move. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Thank you for the $2 Australian super chat.
Man.
Thank you, Got it. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. All right. Mavs fan 84 Jay White gonna end up in AEW. Yes,
I guess.
This week.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there this week. He's gonna attack Ricky Starks. Enjoy.
Holy shit! Like what happened to that? Like that was like
what happened?
No, like it's like honestly, like I'm shocked. I'm shocked. He was at WrestleMania and he did it to the Usos, and I was dying when they showed the video of James Straws.
When everybody, as soon as the 3 count happened in the Roman Cody match, went into the chat and immediately started typing what happened in all caps to Ibu. That was
poor Ibu. I've kind of felt bad because I
don't
like
why it's WWE, you fucking shitter. It's the worst promotion of all time.
Because like I understand like how the like I would never do it on WWE, but like I know how like people like are really invested in a match and like it goes the other way. I know how that feels.
But you shouldn't. Like it would be dumb to get really invested in it. That's why you can't get really invested in TJPW and stuff like that, because it's always like
at least people watch WWE. I mean, get like
you know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same as being super invested in an AEW match where you like have a pretty decent idea that things are gonna there's some uncertainty, but you have a pretty decent idea that things are gonna go the way they should. Whereas WWE, they fuck the fans every time. They hate the fans. They hate you. If you get excited about it, you're fucking stupid.
I feel like all that is true. On the big stage at Mania, when all the stars feel like they've aligned, like they did on Sunday, like they did for Daniel Bryan, like they did for Batista,
you see, putting
like
his
they did for Rey Mysterio, etc.
That was fucking brutal. Like Jesus, that was bad.
But yeah, like Sunday felt like one of those nights, brother. You know, where it's like,
it's Roman.
You see, I love Cody Rhodes as a wrestler. I think he's like as good as it gets. Like I'm a Cody fan, but you see, as the AEW fan, I laughed pretty hard. Like I was like, like.
See, that's what I'm saying. If Cody wins, the match was great. I thought. If Cody wins,
I enjoyed it a lot.
It's like, you know what? Good for him. He's a good ass wrestler, and he's the fucking WWE Undisputed Champion in a great match at Mania. If he loses, it's so fucking funny
because Cody is
you
such
don't
a funny
care
guy.
Because
he's
it's WWE. Because you're not allowed. If you care, you're wrong. It's wrong to care. You should evaluate it.
It's a kid show,
right?
If you're that invested in
baby idiots,
that's why Cody should have won, Murph. The
but
kids love him. They love him.
I mean, but he betrayed the adults. He betrayed all of us adults to go to the kids. So as an adult, I don't really feel bad.
Usi. All right.
I will, whether it's in 6 days, 6 hours, 6 months, or 6 years, I will get to the bottom of when he found out he was looking at the
all I care about. I'm dying, dude. I'm dying to find out this. Because
I bet he took it like a man. I bet he decided.
Absolutely.
This is what happened. Here, I'm gonna get to your comment in a sec, Bree Woo. This is what happened. He immediately, because here's the thing about Cody Rhodes. He's not a real person.
No,
he's a constant, multi-layered persona that he's crafted. So this is what happened when they told him. I'm making myself laugh thinking about it. When they told him that he was losing, what he did was he decided, I'm on TV right now. I need to be a strong baby face in response to this. So I'm gonna have integrity. So what I'm gonna say is,
like the
he's gonna be like, okay,
like what he did in that crazy promo where he does like he starts crying and he like does that thing with his head. I just assume him to like him doing that and was like, okay, now I need to be a good baby face and do the work, and I can finish the story.
Yeah,
finish the story.
Just dead inside, you know.
But I love
not gonna be a
the
parent
Twitter
after this.
response from like Dustin and Amanda Huber, just like saying like, "What the fuck?" Like they're like so surprised. I'm like, "Did he not tell you?"
Yeah.
like,
Who did he tell? Maybe he didn't tell anybody.
he had to have told Brandy.
I like the idea that only Roman, Cody,
Cody.
the ref, and Triple H knew, and that was that would be incredible.
Well, we know that other people
the
knew.
finish was so bad as well, bro.
Yeah, just spear,
Simone,
1, 2, 3,
No,
bitch.
Simone spike. They did the spike.
It was just
Yeah.
like, no, oh, Solo, he's back from being ejected. Simone Spike
Yeah.
after Cody
Yeah, it's so
stood.
stupid.
Number one,
after
can we
Cody-
just talk about the existence of Solo Sikoa being hilarious? There being just a third Uso. It's just like it's
Who's
just
like
hilarious.
considerably worse than the other two Usos,
Yeah,
but
third-
somehow he's
Yeah,
like
man,
the
he's,
heater.
he's pretty
I don't know,
good,
bro.
man.
I'm taking Solo over Jimmy
Pretty good
these days.
TV, brother. You know,
Jimmy, boy, Jimmy looks hefty. He looks like he drinks his
doesn't
weight.
know how to like stop. Murph doesn't get it. Anyway. Okay, couple super chats, then we'll get into Beast of the Week. What is Davina Rose doing in the Stardom Zone? I don't think it's happening, Briwu. I don't think Miss Bailey is. I don't think Bailey's going over there. I'll believe it when I goddamn see it.
She wouldn't use
Yeah,
that
she
name,
just-
I don't think.
I think it was just a one night thing. I bet. We'll see. Well, maybe not just a one night thing. Maybe weeks or a month or so. But
She'd be Bailey Martinez or something like that. Like she would never be like Davina Rose because it's like That's like how why Mercedes is like Mercedes Monet. Like you gotta build off your stuff.
What?
I'm sorry, but there was apparently a fire Vince chant at NXT. The piece.
Wait, what?
There was a fire Vince chant. at
Fire
NXT.
Vince.
Yeah.
Cool. Fire
No, it's just
Vince.
like, and it's funny because it's NXT. Like,
Yeah,
in
it's
the fucking
like all their
warehouse.
family. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, they've got like Sol Ruka in the crowd chanting Fire Vince or something like that. Garbage promotion, garbage human being.
I like the idea of there being a fire Vince chant at the NXT. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
going for it.
I thought you said 5-inch. I thought you said
That's what I thought he
5-inch.
said too. I was like, are you
I
talking
thought
about
it was
Mello?
like I didn't know if like Brooks
Oh,
Jensen
come
got
on.
exposed. I didn't know if like Brooks Jensen got exposed for having like a 5-inch penis, and then you like make it sound screaming 5-inch.
That
Cody
isn't
should have
even something
no-showed
that.
and Cody should have no-showed and shown up on Dynamite from Mavs Fan 84. That'd be crazy. I think AEW might have a lawsuit on their hands if that happened. But yeah. Okay. All right. Fellas, friends and family, little bro, it is it's time for the Beast of the Week. Here on Dominant Guy Live. Montel, you are our guest. I would like you to go first. Who is your Beast of the Week this week? A lot of stuff happened.
Okay, bear with me 2 seconds. Jimmy Uso.
What? What? On what grounds?
On the grounds that we discussed on the podcast. Was it a podcast? Just the idea of Jimmy, past his prime, brother, put on a
Still
bit of
out
team.
there. Like
put on
we
a bit-
talked about, putting on one of the best Mania main events of all time, in maybe the best tag team match in
WWE history, yeah, and he's just, he's past his best days, past his physical
just out there
prime, quite a bit of
being Jimmy Uso.
Drinks his weight in Michelob Ultra every week, but he keeps going out there.
But when the lights are bright, bro, in the stadium, he did what he needed to do,
Yeah, he played the part. He did it on Sunday too. He helped his tribal chief retain. He did what he needed to do. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy Uso. Jamie, let's move on to you.
Yeah, it's been one of the busiest weeks in all of wrestling. Shows all over the place in LA. But I thought one person stood above the rest. Really stole the show this weekend, and it was the it was the prime the prime bottle.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. All right.
It was the prime bottle, which I think I pointed out in the group chat straight away. I don't know, Parker, you did the same. That's KSI in that prime bottle.
Fucking OG Day. William Olatunji, the fucking KSI. Knowledge, strength, integrity. My fucking hero.
This is beyond me. I'm too old for this. I'm the oldest person here, huh? This sucks.
But
Anyway.
you know, KSI, he's a real worker because he tries to work everyone. He was like, I'm on my way home, on the plane home,
And
that
then,
prime bottle
not
came
even
out,
a
I was
day
like,
after KSI does it, he has to apologize for using a racial slur.
yeah,
What a week
Yeah,
for
I know.
KSI.
Bro, he was so good at being the prime bottle. Like, not enough people talked about that. When Logan had Seth like down for a close near fall and Seth kicked out, the prime bottle was so fucking sad. He was like putting his hands. It was like, no. It was like the worst thing had ever happened to this prime bottle, and it was like, oh, it was just KSI under there. It was so good.
KSI,
This is
bro.
a good. That's a
I
good.
love him.
Okay.
He's
All right.
the best.
Good. So wait, is it Logan or is it KSI?
No, it's KSI.
Oh, you can't be KSI this week, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's bad
Ah,
week for it to be
Let me
KSI.
should I give you another one? Should I give you another one?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a bad
show-
week for
shout it out,
KSI,
man.
mate.
Okay,
Who you got?
he's my honorary beast of the week, but for reasons we won't get into, he's not my beast of the week official. So I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to Gunther because
That's a good
he's
choice.
the best. He's the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. He's one of the best wrestlers I've ever seen. he's so good. He was one that obviously a lot of people initially worried about when he got the call up. He got the name change, and he's been he's been so good. This triple threat match, and I could give it to either of the other two. I love Sheamus. I know you love Sheamus as well, Parker, and Drew as well. He's a beast. But Gunther is my beast of the week officially.
We always let Murph go last for some reason. There were a lot of really great wrestling matches this weekend. By my count, like again, I think it's like cringe to share your star ratings, but by my count, between Supercard of Honor, both Nights of Mania, and NXT, there were like 12 4-star plus matches, right? And I barely watched any of the Mania weekend stuff that, all the Kingo stuff, all the Mike Bailey stuff, TJPW, DDT, all that. So there was just a ton of really excellent, exciting, fun wrestling this weekend. That makes it really difficult to decide on a Beast of the Week. However, I am going to give it to somebody we haven't even really mentioned on this show in a few weeks. Doesn't have like all that much of a Japan connection. He has one from like 10-15 years ago, but it's somebody who came out and I think had maybe the best like in-ring singles match of his career, and that is Mark Briscoe, who took on Samoa Joe in a really great Ring of Honor Television Championship match where the crowd was super behind him, as they would be, right? He was just a great, exciting, likable babyface against Joe. And in a weekend with so many excellent matches, I think it's easy to let this one sort of fall to the wayside and get forgotten a little bit, get buried a little bit, especially because Briscoe didn't end up winning the match. But I have faith in the booking of this promotion. Unlike WWE, I actually think that there will probably be some sort of culmination or coronation of Mark Briscoe's story. But this is one of the best. It's one of the best matches of his career. He had it against a legend, one of his best rivals throughout his career. So for me, Mark Briscoe, Beast of the Week.
I have
Murph.
2 Beasts of the Week this week. My Beast of the Week did something so courageous, and you could say they led the storm that came. My Beast of the Week is James Drake and Zach Gibson. Liverpool's own Scousman.
Scouse.
Thank you for leading the charge and doing something so brave and getting the fuck out of there. Thank you. What's their names? Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler.
Rip Fowler.
Is that a Robbie Fowler reference? I'm guessing.
I assume so.
But
Stupid.
thank you for getting the fuck out of there. And I will give you two are beasts for doing 2 things that most people won't do, but you realize that being on a match with The Rock's daughter who sucks on a pre-show was not going to do well for your career, so you led the charge. So thank you, Rip and Jagger, and you guys are my beast of the week.
Meh. Are you aware that there was a report that broke earlier today that maybe they haven't been released?
Then, in case they did not actually get released, then Nigel McGuinness is my beast of the week. So
We have so many contingent. This is like we have like 7 beasts of the week. This is the worst stable of all time. I make this joke every week, but Jimmy
if the
Uso.
Grizzled Young Vets
week,
didn't get out,
Hold on.
then they can go the hell, and they're not my beast of the week. But if not, if they actually did, then they are. But if not, it's Nigel. So there's my 3.
Our stable is Jimmy Uso, KSI. Who was your other? Oh, Gunther. Mark Briscoe. Fucking the Grizzled Young Vets and Nigel McGuinness. The Dyad, the Schism. And wow. That's insane, you guys. But so officially
we could have a whole football.
This is going down in the record books. This is etched in stone. Our beasts of the week are I'm like forgetting Jimmy Uso, Mark Briscoe, Gunther, and Nigel McGuinness. That's our set in stone, etched in forever beasts of the week. What a fun time. All right, so
thanks for joining us.
We have Sakura Genesis this upcoming weekend. We'll obviously be giving you a full report on that. Is Cinderella Finals this weekend, Jamie?
It's the 15th, I believe, of April.
15th. So we do have another show until then. Okay. So Sakura Genesis is the only real big thing going on in Japan this upcoming weekend. So we'll definitely be giving you full in-depth review report on that. Then we'll be able to preview 2 big shows. Of course, Cinderella Finals. Then there's Azumi versus Saki Kashima for the high-speed title at Korakuen. That'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, there is Jake Lee in his first GHC heavyweight title defense against Katsuhiko Nakajima. So we'll be able to talk about all of that on next week's show. But until then, stay dumb, everybody. Thank you, Monty, for dropping in for a week. Thank you, Murph, for making it. I hope you enjoy your spring break. And that's going to do it for us on Dumb Guy Live. Thank you, everybody, for watching.